This video is actually in response to Shannon, her awfully, her awfully terrible things that I believe that's natural. Things that happened to her that was really natural, except for the end. I'm really not sure. I'm with her on everything else. Like, she was nervous and how her feelings was being nervous. Like, she couldn't eat and she was quiet. It was awkward. She didn't know, how to come in the conversation. Like, everybody else was comfortable. She didn't know how to jump in and stuff like that. Until she said, when they dropped her off, she sprinted away. I'm not sure. I was with you on everything until that. I had to start laughing. Like, I felt for you. I felt so bad for the rest of it, but I could not help. I'm sorry. I could not help but laugh when you said that. I had to rewind. It was like, that means she ran? Like, for real. And I'm trying to picture it in my head, like, the whole time I'm trying to picture it in my head, like for real, why'd you run? Like, I just couldn't help but laugh. I'm sorry. I've never been in a duplicate situation to that. I have been in a situation to where something was new, and like the person that I was talking to, like I said, paired up with because of the girl to boy ratio. And I have gotten that, why are you so quiet? And my response to that, I'm not. Yeah. Didn't realize that was not the right thing to say until I got older. Yeah, until I got older and realized that I am actually being quiet because I'm not saying nothing. It's okay, it's okay or whatever, because I've had, like, even though you want to be yourself, the more you try to be yourself, like, the more it seems really, really forced and stuff like that. It seems very, very forced. Like, an awkward moment for me was, from what I can remember, is me I haven't had no other dude, like, besides my family, had ever had my number. For like, it was for 3 years at the time. Had never had my number before. So I don't know the dating thing. I was in a relationship for like 3 years. I didn't know the dating thing. And, I was new to it. I was like a divorced woman or something. I had no idea how to jump back in there, or if it's the same as it was when I was 18. I didn't know. I thought, I'm trying to do it. And mind you, I'm fresh out of the relationship. When I say fresh, I mean 2 months after. That's still holding on time. That's still clinging to hope time, and instead of, licking my wounds and, stalking him and calling him with my number blocks, as I should have, I was trying to talk to somebody else. So I just threw my number, and, we're texting at first, and so finally he was like, I want to call you, whatever. I'm freaking out. And so I finally talked to him. And, it was some things, we just talking about some stuff and stuff like that. He telling me about his past relationship. And we just talking about, basic things, our names and all that, where we from. So, first thing, and so the first topic I just talk about is my ex. Yeah. And one thing, it's not even a couple of things. It was a whole conversation. The rest of the conversation. After the basic info came the, deep conversation, or the, in-depth conversation, in-depth whatever. So I talk about my ex. So I had no idea. It seemed fine right at the moment. It seemed like the right thing to do then, but it wasn't. Next day, I noticed that he wasn't taking my calls anymore. Like, he would text me, sometime, but he wasn't taking my calls. So I was like, well, what's the problem? Like, I'm trying not to seem clingy because, we just started talking. Well, I'm like, what's the problem? I'm trying to be all cool and, something happened, why we don't, why you don't like talking on the phone anymore? And he's making up excuses and stuff. So finally, it just hit me. I'm like, I'm such a dummy. It just hit me. I'm like, oh my God, I felt so stupid. It was just like a stupid balloon or something, and that just popped, and I had an epiphany, you know. And I just texted him. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so sorry. I Can we please start over? I'm sorry for talking about my ex. I'm really sorry. And I'm like, can we just start over? He was like, oh, it's okay. I told him, I thank you for listening. He was, oh, it's okay. Yes, we can start over. I'm just gonna say I was more labeled as a friend after that. I'm more labeled as a friend after that. Um, it's okay. I know now. Not that was a very, very dumb thing to do. And I know that now. So it's, we've all had awkward moments. To me, I felt very stupid. I've never felt so stupid in my life because I was like, I didn't even know him. And I'm just telling him my whole life story about everything. And it's like he just called to talk to this girl, but he just got this needy, broken female, So, and then I think I started crying at one point. Yes. So, yes. So, you've all had the moments like that, and yes. So, you just get better, as wine gets better with age, dating gets better with the same, I guess. It gets better with time. Experience, yes. It gets better with the more you do it, the more experience you have with it, you'll learn from your mistakes. So that's pretty much my not my first date, but my first encounter of with a dude that, I liked or whatever, you know. Yeah. But anyway, all right, y'all be cool.